How is the recovery, Ken?
Yeah, not too bad. We got home, it's just hugely disappointing, you know what I mean? Yeah, we did play against probably the best side in Europe, but you know, it's probably parts of it, looking back at the game, are pretty embarrassing.
This European campaign, how much has it been affected by that first half against Racing at home, in which you conceded 3 or 4 tries, and really that sort of effectively put you out of the tournament? Has it had a sort of spillover effect on the game since then, do you think?
I think one thing we have managed to do is separate Europe from the Pro 12. I think, even though we lost 2 of the derbies over Christmas, we put 2 pretty decent performances in, and discipline cost us. But I think, yeah, I think it's showing perhaps the depth we haven't got currently with a lot of injuries, and you know, really having to work hard, and you know, it is costing us slightly, and we've been disappointed in Europe, and we can't hide from that fact. And we, you know, it is what it is at the moment. We just got to keep working hard, and we've got a big game against Northampton on the weekend to try and finish on a positive note in Europe, and take a bit of momentum into the Pro 12.
How much does it mean to the region not to be whitewashed in Europe then?
That means everything. As a player, as you know, supporters, you know, we worked hard, really hard at the end of last year to guarantee that 6th spot to take us, to bring us into this competition, and you know, we can't hide from the fact we've lost 5 from 5 at the moment with some pretty poor performances, and we've got to try and finish on a positive note, so we take something from this campaign.
You gave Northampton a pretty stiff run for their money in the first game of the competition, but how difficult is it to compete in this last game, given that they've got the motivation of a potential place in the quarters?
That's going to be hugely difficult. They've got still something to play for, but we've got plenty of pride we've got to play for, and you know, and restore some passion and pride in the shirt, and I think that's got to be our motivation, not to lose every game. Bit of pressure off, because no one's expecting nothing from us in Europe at the moment, and you know, hopefully we'll be massive underdogs, and hopefully we can take something from the game and build momentum for our Pro 12 campaign, which gets back on the road against Connacht away next week, or the week after.
Yeah, this will be the last game for some of you going off to the Wales squad, if selected. How much does it mean to you then, on a personal basis, to put in a decent shift to make sure you maximise your chances of being in the team for Dublin?
Well, it means everything, you know. Not really focusing on what's happening. Squad hasn't been announced yet, and all my efforts, and since the World Cup, all my efforts have been putting in performances for the Scarlets and trying to get results, and you know, that focus won't change this weekend against Northampton.
How much is it hurting, Ken, in terms, not just from your point of view, from people who've been involved in Europe in the past, to work here, to coaches, everyone, you know, how much does that hurt?
I was devastated. We always knew, and I mentioned in the week to the boys, you know, how tough it's going to be out there. You just got to look at the quality of the player, quality of the squad.
Yeah.
But you know, parts of the game were completely unacceptable, and I think if you tidied all that up, it would have been a respectable result. But at the end of the day, it wasn't. I think it was a record defeat in Europe, and we can't hide from that fact. We're a much better team than that. We're a better squad than that, and to deliver that performance on the weekend was just unacceptable.
And in terms of Northampton, obviously you mentioned with them motivation, but how much will it mean to not just put in performance but get a victory this weekend in terms of the season and, you know, and the Scarlet standing in Europe, as it were?
Well, it means everything. You know, we know how good Northampton are. They've got something to play for, but I think, like I said earlier, the amount of hard work has been put in at the end of last year to qualify for Europe, and to put ourselves back in the biggest competition in World Rugby, club competition, and to be as disappointed we have, we need to finish in a positive and try and earn a bit of respect back, and get momentum for our Pro 12 campaign.
Yeah, because you've had a proud record this place in Europe over the years, you know, in terms of semi-finals and things like that. And I'd have taken 8 on the weekend.
No, I would have, you know, one of the fortunate ones perhaps in this current squad who have actually played in the semi-final and been involved. And one thing in, you know, the tough times and things like that through the years we've been since sort of 2007 when we were last in the semi-final, we've always looked to Europe to be able to find motivation and get some scalps and you know, restore a bit of pride. And we've gone well in Europe, even though when the Pro 12 we struggled and things like that. But you know, this year's just been hugely disappointing, and we're going to have to work hard this week now, rectify some of the wrongs and put ourselves, you know, trying to earn a bit of respect back against Northampton this weekend.
You're obviously still pretty worked up by what happened. Is this the worst you felt after a bad defeat?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can accept losing to a better side, and I think Racing were by far the better side on the weekend. But I just think in the manner that we lost was just hugely disrespectful to the club and, you know, and to each other as professionals and to the supporters who travel out there. And I think we got to take that on the chin and just be honest and put our hands up and, you know, take a long hard look at ourselves.
How long does it take you now, Ken, to kind of get over that kind of feeling? Or are you able to have that meeting, get it off your chest and move on? Or does it linger for a while?
No, you can't let it linger. I think we're going to have to put this Racing game to bed as soon as possible, which will be done probably later on this morning. And in the reviews, we'll get it out. And then once that's done, it won't be forget about it, but it'll be getting a reaction, then training this afternoon and building for Northampton. We've got a short turnaround with the Sunday game last week, Saturday this week, so we've got to lick our wounds and pick ourselves up and put a decent shift in at home on Saturday and get a bit of respect back.